Hey guys, let me show you some balloons real quick. It was my birthday a couple of days ago, and it was a good one. I turned 30 years old. Whoop! Y'all girl is getting old, okay? So I wanted to come on today and talk about checking on your people. But of course, this is a hangout with Estelle, and while we hang out today, we're going to paint my nails so that I can later on put them on. I am a press on girl. I used to be an acrylic addict, and then the time, the money, the heat, like when you put acrylic, for some reason my nails will start to get really hot randomly. I would be at work, I would be doing just washing the dishes, and it is hot, 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 hot. So eventually I started to realize that, you know what, it's not all good and dandy. It's not all gravy over there. And when you work as a nurse, and then I started to work with aggressive patients, so having nails that are acrylic was really difficult because when they came off without me wanting them, like when they didn't just fall off on their own, when somebody knocked them off, it would be very painful. But press-ons are less painful when they come off. Number one. Number two, I could just apply some glue and put them back on, and bam, I'm back in the game. Number three, I can literally buy a whole pack of this for like $12 on Amazon, and this is, I think it's 500 pieces. If you have 10 fingers, that's 50 refills. So I can do my nails 50 times. All I have to do is buy glue and get some nail polish, right? So that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm gonna show you my little setup. I'm gonna move the screen from the setup to me back and forth. Don't worry. So I have some nails. They're clear. You can also get the white ones. Up to you. I like the clear ones because the color does what I want it to do. Okay. Then I have these. These are like nail stands. We need more light, huh? Hold on. Okay. I added some a light, so hopefully this is better for everybody. Alright, so I have my nails, I have my nail beds, and I'll show you. Well, my nail stands, they're not nail beds. This is what it looks like. And so we are talking today about checking on your people, right? I did write a little flashcard so I remember to follow my ideas and not just start rambling. So we all hear about this thing like, oh, check on your people, check on your loved ones, check on your people, check on your loved ones. And I kind of wanted to address that. That's what we're going to talk about today while we do this. So, when we say check on your people, we don't mean look at their Facebook or look at their Instagram story. We don't mean DM them and say you good. We don't mean just like a 1 minute and gone. Okay? Because why do we even ask people to check on people? Because many a times, right? The people lose people to taking their lives, and they're like, oh, we never even saw the signs. She was the life of the party. Recently, I've been seeing these videos of like family members, I guess, that post like a video of a girl just dancing, living her life. And the caption is, this was 2 months before she took her life. This was 2 days before she went home and took her life. What do I learn from that? I learned from that depression hides. Depression hides. As somebody myself who has and fights and battles depression. See, I think that the kind of there's two kind of depression, or three maybe. There is the kind of depression that you are in bed all day, can't talk, can't move, won't eat. You are can't move, right? And then there's functioning depression, like those of us, a lot of us. We're able to go to work, we're able to show up for other people, we're able to bring in light and laughter to every people that we meet, we're able to relate to people's pain, we're able to sympathize, we're able to empathize, we're able to be that voice that say that thing that they needed to hear to keep going. And then we have the people who battle between, I'm really down in the dumps today and tomorrow I'm back. I think that those of us who have become really good at hiding our pain, we have had to do so because the people around us, the people that we love, the people that we trust, the people that are supposed to have our back, the people that we're supposed to be able to fall back and trust, have made us feel, believe, know, experience that we're not safe expressing our pain to them for whatever reason, whether because they don't acknowledge it, they don't address it, they don't care, they mock it, they use it against us, they don't try to help, whatever. We all have reasons why we don't feel safe expressing our pain anymore. In general, the consensus is that it's easier to pretend that you're fine than to actually show people how broken you feel. Because some days when I wake up and I just want to myself, if I had to explain to my niece what I am feeling, why I am feeling it, I can't. I don't have the words. I just know that in that moment right there, in that day, in that space, in that week, I feel like all of this is useless. I shouldn't be here. What is the point? Nobody else goes through this. Only I have to go through this. Go away, guys. Only sorry. Only I have to deal with this pain. Why do I have to deal with this pain? This is what the nails look like. They're so cute. Do you see them? Why do I have to be the only person dealing with this pain? And then we get isolated. And then when we are alone, those voices then take over us and slap box us with our backs against the wall. With no chance of us for us to ever even like, hey, hold on. Like we don't even have a chance when these thoughts start to come up. People hide their pain. So it's important to actually check on them. Why do people hide their pain? Because like I said, the world has shown us that there's some people that you can go to them and say, hey, I'm struggling. This is going on, this is going on, this is going on. And before you finish talking, they start to list to you how their shit is worse than your shit. There are people that while you are expressing your pain interrupt you to talk to you about their pain, to compare to their pain, to say, oh yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I remember that time. When I showed my pain, people made me feel like it was overwhelming for them. I remember when I came to America, and I finally had time to sit down with my mom, and I was wanted to tell her how bad I was hurt, physically, emotionally, and sexually. Like I was literally sexually abused. And as her only daughter, I thought that she would want, sit down and listen and hear me out. And I remember telling me that she didn't want to hear that. And I was like, what? And she said, it makes me uncomfortable to hear those stories. And I remember asking myself, I remember saying, bitch, are you kidding me? I know we're talking about my mom, but hold on. You feel uncomfortable hearing about something that I actually had to live through and survive. You're uncomfortable just hearing it. But I had to live through it and survive. And you think that you have the right to say, hell no, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want it. When your parent tells you that, the message that registers is your pain. Nobody cares. We don't want to hear that shit. Keep it inside. We don't want to hear that shit. Because that's literally what she said. Now, if you're a 17-year-old girl who haven't seen your mom for 2 years and a half, and all the horrible things that can happen to a woman happen to you between those 2 years, and you finally get back with your mom, who was your hero, your idol, the one that made you feel safe, and she shuts down the verbalization, the vocalization of your pain, you feel unacknowledged, you feel unworthy, you feel like your pain is not, it's not real, because your mom, the person who gave birth to you, carried you, woke up in the night to take care of you, who claims and swears to God that she loves you to death, does not want to hear it because it just makes her uncomfortable. Your pain makes people uncomfortable. So you learn to smile. You learn to say, I'm fine. No, I'm good. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. Because my smile don't make you uncomfortable. When I say I'm fine, that's good for you, right? It's easier for you to move on and do something else. Because when you asked me you good, you didn't actually give a fuck. You were just doing ceremonies, right? Whatever you do, good morning, how you doing, good, good, all right, cool, have a good one. Did you ask out of care, or did you just ask because these are things that society has taught you to do? So people have learned this. That's my story, right? A lot of people have stories similar to that, which is why they have learned to hide their pain as well. Checking on people is also important because it helps people who have depression, like myself, people who are struggling, and even people in general, overall, to feel loved and thought of. Do you know how great it is? Like you're having a bad day, a trash day, and your phone just calls and it's like an old friend and mom, your auntie, somebody that you love. And then, hey, I thought about you today and I said, hey, let me call Estelle. Hey girl, how are you? It's so rare, it's so deep, it's such a little act that you could just start crying like, yo, I didn't think nobody cared about me. You remembered me? People feel thought of when we check in on them. And another reason why I think we should make a habit of checking in on people, quite literally, is that you could be saving a life. Simple as that. You could be saving a life. If I was planning on myself today and you video call me and you say, hey girl, I haven't heard from you in a couple of days or in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, and I have this movie that I really like. Do you have Netflix? Good. Play it and we're gonna watch it together. We're gonna stay on video call. Roll a blunt, get some tea. I'm gonna get my popcorn. How the fuck I'm gonna take my life if you're on video call watching a movie with me? You would quite literally save a life. You don't even have to leave your house. Video call. I think video calls are even deeper than just a phone call, because a phone call you could just be like, yeah, whatever, you good? Oh my god, I miss you so much. You okay? But that face to face, that I see you, I look at you, it's very important. How? What are ways that you can use to check in on people? I'm checking the things that I've already said, guys, okay? So that I'm not just repeating over and over. So the colors that I want to put is this kind of reddish, light pink. It's too light. I want to do a little bit more, but we're going to do too many quotes and some yellow. Okay. What are ways to check on your people? You can check on your people, like I said, in a video call. I hate when people randomly call me, but the people that I love, I don't mind. Like, if I love you, fuck it, call me. My niece, she knows that at any time, just call me. If I'm smoking a blunt, I'm not gonna answer. Or I'll answer, but I'm not gonna show my face first. But I will answer. So video call your people. Now we have So many ways to video call. You can Instagram some video call somebody on Instagram. You can video call somebody on Facebook. You can video call, FaceTime them if you have Apple. There are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of ways to check on people. Things that you can do while checking on people. And when you call somebody, you don't be like, hey, how you doing? You good? Okay, cool, cool. Just wanted to check on you and you get off the phone. Nah, that's stupid. Again, if I have learned to hide my pain, then when you ask me how I am, automatically my answer is yes. My answer is good. I'm good, sorry. How you doing? Fine. 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 Even if I am just about to take my life, my answer is fine. So that's not how you check on people. If that's what you've been doing, baby, cut it out. So plan like a 10-15 minute. If it's a phone call, find something to talk about. Like maybe you watched a movie recently or whatever, okay? Plan a movie together. Maybe start a game online, like maybe Words with Friends. And every day send them like a DM, like, yo, I'm about to beat your ass. Watch, 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 watch. You know what I mean? Physically drive to see them, actually listen to them talk. You don't have to fix their problems. Nope. Checking on people don't mean you gotta fix their problems. It's just, hey, I know that shit is hard, and I just wanted you to know that I'm thinking of you and we're in this shit together. Okay? Just listen. Sometimes people just want to feel heard. You don't have to say shit back like, damn, man. You know what I think? I think you should know you don't have to fix people's problems. Checking on somebody doesn't mean you're fixing their problems. And then sit with them. My cousin used to use this term that says, be a tree for me. So if you go and sit under a tree and you just start to vent and vent and vent, all you hear is the wind swishing, the leaves blowing. The tree doesn't come up and start to tell you, well, you know what I think? No, no, no. You just need something solid, rock solid, to hold you and hear you out. That's it. Go sit with them, listen to them, play cards, watch a movie, do your nails, video call them. Say, hey, you want to go to the mall? Hey, you want to go watch a movie? You want to go to a drive-in? Physically sit with them, because I call them like dark demons. Some of us deal with our demons, and these demons don't have power or cannot come out when we are physically present with other people. Which is why people can be at a party all night and be okay, and then go home and everything is quiet, and then they're back in the dark spot. So physically, if you come to my house, you say, yo, I know you have depression. You don't have to say, hey, I'm coming to check on you because you have depression. Come on, bro. Don't be condescending. Okay? Hey, man, I'm pulling up on you. I want to spend some time with you. Come over, sit down on the bed. If I'm reading a book, maybe you read your book. Maybe you call her, bring an activity to do while you're around me. You don't even have to do the activity with me. You're just with me so that you are keeping the demons at bay. And I don't literally mean like, the devil in fucking hell. But I mean those dark thoughts, those dark energy, those dark beliefs, those things, that voices that keep repeating and repeating over and over, they don't necessarily come out and pop up, and they don't get loud for me when I am around other people physically. When people leave, when things get quiet, that's when shit gets crazy for me. So as long as sometimes when I'm at home and things get too quiet, or like my brain starts to say negative things, or the voices start to pop up and say, you should just die, you should just die, why are you even alive, you're such a waste of time, imagine being your age and you don't have kids, imagine not having a husband, da, 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 da. All that shit. I get up and I literally, I'm blessed to like be able to, I leave with my mom and my younger brother who's a grown man. I just go to his room and I push the door. If his door is open, 80% of the time, if he's at home, he leaves his door cracked so that I can go in there if I need to be with people. So I just push his door, I walk in. Sometimes he looks at me and says, what? If I can't speak, because sometimes I'm in so much like in my mind, I just look at him. He just turns around. If he's playing his video game, he just looks at me and goes back to his video game. We don't have to talk. He just understands that right now she's in a battle and she needs me physically there. So I would just go in, get on his bed, sit there and just sit and watch the show with him. Whatever he's doing, just be there. And then when I feel like, okay, this is the voices are getting lower, the balance is getting better, I just get up and walk out. Sometimes I go in his room and I say, hey, the voices in my head are getting really loud and they're getting negative. I need to talk. And he can say, do you want to talk about what is going on in your head, or you want to talk about something else? And I would say, oh, I just want to talk about something else. And he would start telling me about yo, I went to school today and this bitch came later. And he just starts talking and talking and talking. And slowly I have shifted from that dark spot. He's not fixing my problems. He's not fixing my life. He's not telling me how to arrange things. Sometimes, like I said, we don't even have to address what is going on in my head, because sometimes I am aware that the voices in my head are lying. They're saying bullshit. So I don't even want to address them. I don't even want to give them space. I want you to fill this space up with something else. So he starts to fill in the voice, start talking to me, talking about yo, and then I call my girlfriend. I'm like, why? And then you're in another conversation. Or I go to my mom. Usually she's listening to gospel music in her room. That's black old mothers for you. And playing a game on her tablet. So I just go in there. Usually she will look up to me, look up at me to kind of gauge where my face is going. When I walk into a room, I'm actually saying something. Hey mom, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. But if I walk into a room and I'm quiet or I'm crying, immediately she puts her tablet down. She knows that I need help. If I'm not crying and I walk in, she's like, what's up? I'm like, and I get quiet. She knows that something is off. She would either say, everything okay, mama? Or she would just be like, do you want to watch? Like, she would give me her remote to, like, find something else to watch or to, like, distract me. I am very blessed that I have two people that live with me that now understand that, hey, sometimes she just needs us to be there for her. Some people don't have that. At first I didn't have that. And I had to create that. How? I had to tell them, hey, sometimes things in my head are not good. I'm like, what do you mean? Because they only see the jolly me. They only see me, they know I have depression because I was diagnosed and I was in the hospital and I was on medication. They know that. But if you ask my younger brother, describe your sister, life of the party, butterfly, social butterfly, rainbow child. She does not have a single frustration. When she's mad, she is expressive in every way. But today he's aware that even when I'm smiling, sometimes I'm thinking, I wish I was not here. He acknowledges that. He has also taken psychology classes now, so he's a little bit more in touch of like, oh, shit, this is how doctor gets in your head. Okay. But if you don't tell your people how bad it is, most often they don't know how much help you need. Especially if you are the strong one. And I am the strong one. I always have this saying that says that I am the backup. I am for everybody, including my older brothers. I am the backup. Like if you're in an emergency, you call somebody. Or let me know the backup is if you are in emergency and you cannot help yourself, you call me. I'm gonna step up. If you are in danger and you call for help and help doesn't come, you call for me. I'm gonna fucking show up and show out. That's part of just my identity. I show up and show out for people all the time. That's me. So I am the strong one in so many phases, in so many spaces. Even professionally, I realized that I have a way of commanding authority. I don't make people scared of me, but people feel like, oh, if I have a problem, I go up to her. And I could be sitting with my boss, my supervisor, and people will walk up and address me like, hey, can you? And I'm like, oh no, actually, this is my boss. You can talk to them. Like, what? There is some about me that gives boss. That gives she'll got it. That gives she'll fix it. I don't know what it is, but that's just what it is with me, right? When you are that person, it is hard for now people to see the pain in you, the person that is struggling. Like, wait, struggling? No. That's big dog. Struggling? Where? That's my aunt. That's my aunt who drive 3 hours and a half to slap the fuck out of the bitch that insulted me at school. That's my aunt that drives 2 hours and a half where my mama kicked me out in the middle of the night and I'm in LA. That's my aunt who, even in the middle of a panic attack, she makes sure that we're safe, we're protected, and we don't see that. That's my aunt that shows up to court even though she don't fuck with the justice system in America to speak up for us. How then do you explain that that is the same person that goes home and feels like she's worthless? Nobody cares about her. She should just be gone. Nobody would miss her if she was gone. I have an uncle who prides himself in being a loner, kind of like me. He's very independent, but in a few past years, he got really sick and he's now on dialysis. I think his blood pressure went too high and his kidney started to fail. I make an effort, and let me tell you something. There are days where he pisses the fuck out of me, okay? Like every human being, but I love him, okay? I try once a week, usually on Sundays, to call him. I call him at least 3 times a month, right? So at least once a week, like I said. I might skip a week because I'm a little irritated. I might skip a week because I have depression and I do not feel like speaking. I might skip a week because I have depression and I don't feel like being performative, right? Like, hi, good. I don't want it. I don't want to do it today. I don't want to do it. I ain't doing it, right? But I call him. Hi, uncle. How you doing? And I stay on the phone with him for at least 25 minutes. At least. I tell him about everything. My job, the kids at my job, my co-workers, shit that pisses me off. Because this man has gone from owning businesses, being an employer, to now no longer being able to go to work because he's on dialysis and he's too weak. People have to drive him because he loses consciousness when his blood sugar is too low and he has lost consciousness while driving before. That feeling of feeling like, oh, you're now incapable, that feeling of feeling like, oh, I am no longer needed, that feeling of feeling like I am losing my own capacities and people are putting me to the side is what I work really hard for him not to dwell in. Is he gonna feel like that? Yeah, absolutely. I cannot stop that. But my goal is that he doesn't dwell in that feeling. Because when I call him, his knees called. I have this problem for him to fix. He has advice for me to give. I make him every time I call him, he tells me, I be sitting here lonely and sad, going in the dark, and then you call me and you make me laugh so hard. My bones, my ribs are hurting. I'm like, yo, this girl is crazy. I be laughing like, oh, you call me and you give me a little bit more juice to keep going. He literally says that to me. And you don't know what it means, those little things. As somebody who has depression, my nieces, they had to be separated from their mom. And at some point my mom left because XYZ. So I kind of sympathize with them, very much so. So for a year and a half, almost 2 years, when that had just happened, every week we would do a movie night video call. The first year, I would physically go to them every weekend. I used to leave, I still leave 300 miles away, 3 hours away. And I would drive every weekend to spend it with them. And when I came, oh, it was a hoot. We would stay up watching movies, we would eat junk food, we would make big ass breakfasts in the morning, we would dress fancy and have dinner outside and have parties, we would play in the pool. I brought life when I came. And then the second year, I started doing video calls because I started working and I couldn't just get on my way like that all the time no more. I changed job. So now I would video call them, we'll pick movies, or I'll be like, okay, because there are two of them. This week you pick two movies, next week your turn, next week my turn. We'll pick two movies. We'll watch a movie on Saturday, we'll watch a movie on Sunday, or we will watch both of them back to back on Saturday night and go to bed late. And I would like ship them arts and craft activities. So while we're watching the movie, we're on a video call, the phone is hanging there, and we're doing arts and craft. I'm like, yo, no, I painted my corner. Did you do your corner? Like a sip and paint? But we didn't sip. Did you do your corner? Oh, I'm doing the pink one. Oh, let me add this color. And we would just be talking for like 4 hours and then go to sleep. These are little things. To me, it was just like, I'm just doing that little thing with them. But it meant the world to them. That's checking in on your people, right? How does this help people? Like I said, number one, you could genuinely, literally be saving somebody's life. I remember a few years back, before I had my huge depression breakdown, I was this huge on YouTube. I had like 5,000 subscribers on the other YouTube page and hundreds of thousands of views every week. And I remember this 15-year-old girl wrote me a letter because at some point I had a P.O. box. And she wrote me a letter and said, the night that she's writing this letter, she was thinking about taking her life. And then a friend of hers sent her one of my videos to watch. And she just started to binge watch me all night and ended up not taking her life. She wanted to thank me for the work that I do, making her laugh and inspiring her and basically just keeping her alive. And that letter blew my fucking mind. Because at the time, I think I was like 19 years old. And you have a 15-year-old writing to you to say, hey, you saved my life. And you never even spoke to them personally. So when we say check on your people, we're not saying call them and say, hey, you good over there? No, we say make time. Call them. Video call them. Plan things with them. Hey, let's go to the park on Saturday for an hour. You don't even have to go to their house. If you don't want them to come to your house, it's fine. It's fine. You could just go. So my uncle, by the way, I was going to say this too. Once a month, I go pick him up. I bring him to my house. We have African food. We watch African shows. He gets to spend time with my mom, so they have like old people conversations that we ain't got business to be in. We chop it up. My little brother is always busting his ball. What's up? Oh man, look at the hair. Oh, the hair getting old. The hair getting white. Oh my god, can you see me? Can you see me? Just busting his balls. And it takes me about an hour, 15 minutes to go to him. Another hour and a half to bring him. That's 3 hours. And then another to bring him back. That's 6 hours of my fucking day. And then the time to cook. And then the time to spend time with him. That's the whole day, right? But every time I go to pick him up or drop him off, one, I can tell the difference. He's excited to leave. He's grateful to have left. And it gives him a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more to go. Sometimes this helps